So the character up here, this is just the effect of the arm. The arm setup is very simple. Most of the controls for the arm are in the IK itself, and those are covered more in our IK section. But there's also a Synoptic hooked up to this character, so you can hit F3 here. You can select different parts. This is open. This is an example. The Synoptic goes in and creates fists and relax, all that kind of stuff. And that Synoptic, of course, you'll find in a minute you can start to make a lot of different kinds of characters here. And in that case, the Synoptic doesn't cover all those. The idea is this is an example. It's a little web page that you can go in and use our Synoptic editor here, and you can go in and change that and make your own views. Make something custom tailored. There's also, you have a bunch of controls over things like we talked in the IK chapter. You can go and change the shadow bonds and the objects, but you can also go on, and we have very specific icons for character setup. So if you've got the hip here, you can go in on the hip and you can say, okay, I want to control the icon here. You know, just stuff to keep the character looking good. This is really, it's a professional character setup system. You control the socket height, you know, the cap width here. It's just, rather than just having, you know, we're not really a company that's just doing primitives or looking at 3D as making simple things. We're very passionate about characters and how that should look and how that should animate and what kind of interface you want to be working with. Same thing on the chest here. You can come in and you know, just control the icon for the chest. Just set up the way that you want the rig to function as a diagram. So we've got our spine, we've got our chest. So there are a couple things on the spine too. This spine that you get by default is called fixed length. So as you move the spine along, it stays this length. So sometimes people run into things where, like, they hit a certain pose, they're over here or something, and they rotate the hip, and you can see it's causing a little bit of turning up here. That's because the spine is fixed length. So as you move this, as you pull it and tug it, it's changing the curve of the spine, and it's pulling this backwards and causing that to twist. So if you wanted to meet this exactly, you can do traditional FK spine. You can also do a stretchy spine. We'll get into that in a minute. So those are the basics of the rig. You just grab these different parts and move them around. Let's start to get into a little more detail. And also, I think I showed this already, but there is a scale for that length as well. So let's get into more of the kind of details. Jump into the details right away on the guide. So I'll delete that rig, and we'll go look at the guide. Let's say I wanted to go in and look at the fingers for a minute. So the fingers are a tricky area in rigging. One of the big problems is getting them into alignment. So fingers have something running downwards, like the finger runs down this way, but there's also a plane of curl, and that's what this little shark fin is on the character. So if you go do something wacky, like you're doing a robot or you're doing something unconventional, this goes in and allows you to say, okay, the plane of curl at this point is this way. It's oriented like that, and so you can come in and set all those kinds of things. The next option, also the fingers are pretty neat too. On the guide, you've got a lot of control. You can go right in and delete the fingertips. I can just say here, delete that fingertip, and these bones here, they actually don't matter. All the guides are doing is going tracing these boxes. These little chains are just to make it, it's kind of resemble a rig or something. You can also duplicate off the fingers. So if I make those kind of changes and we go and adjust our rig, let's go make a new rig here. Just go character rig from biped guide. Just hit OK. We're all default still. Currently in Las Vegas, if you can hear the sirens wailing in the behind here. Okay, so I'm gonna go take this, and you can see it went right in there and made a set of fingers for me. And what's cool is they're parametric. If I go do my hands and I do a fist or a relaxed, it still did that pose even with the extra fingers. And if I go look at all the sliders on my character, if I look under here and pop up the hand sliders, look, it went in there, and all the hand sliders still have their own controllers. It's truly a parametric system.